defeat rarely announces itself. It doesn't always come with noise, shouting, or chaos. Sometimes it comes quietly, like a door closing behind you. Sometimes it comes as a message you didn't expect. Sometimes it comes as a moment where you realize something is over. Plan. A belief, a version of yourself. Most people imagine defeat as dramatic. They imagine falling hard, being seen, being judged. But the most painful defeats happen in silence, when no one else is watching. You wake up the next day and the world looks the same. The sun still rises. People still go to work. Life keeps moving. But inside you, something feels off. Something cracked. And the first thought that comes isn't anger. It's confusion. What now? That question has followed humans for thousands of years. Long before modern self-help, long before motivational quotes, long before therapy rooms and podcasts, there were warriors who faced this question in its rawest form. The samurai, not the romantic version from movies, not the flawless warrior who always wins. The real ones, men who trained their entire lives knowing one truth. They would lose battles, lose status, lose comrades, sometimes lose everything. And yet, they did not live in fear of defeat. They lived in preparation for it. Imagine a samurai after a loss. The battlefield is quiet now. The clash of steel is gone. The dust has settled. There is no cheering crowd, no second chances, no one telling him how to feel, only his thoughts, only the weight of what just happened. In that moment, defeat is not just physical, it's personal. Because when you lose, you don't just lose the fight. You lose the story you told yourself about who you were. I am strong. I am skilled. I am respected. All of it gets questioned in a single moment. This is where most people break. Not because they failed, but because they don't know who they are without success. We are taught to build our identity on winning, on being right, on being ahead. So when defeat comes, it feels like the ground disappears. But the samurai didn't see defeat as the end of identity. They saw it as a test of it. Here's the tension at the heart of this story. Defeat can destroy you, or it can reset you. Same event, two very different paths. Most people never reset. They carry defeat like a wound that never heals. They hide it. They overcompensate for it. They let it quietly shape their choices. They become smaller not because they failed, but because they never faced what the failure was asking them to see. The samurai faced it directly. They didn't rush past it. They didn't numb it with distraction. They didn't pretend it didn't hurt. They stopped. They reflected. They stripped themselves down to what remained. And that is what made them dangerous, not just as warriors, but as humans. Because anyone can feel confident when they're winning. It takes a different kind of strength to stand calmly after losing. This isn't a story about swords or armor. It's a story about the moment after life humbles you. The moment where you sit alone and ask, was I only valuable when I was winning? Was I only strong when things went my way? Who am I now that I lost? These questions are uncomfortable. That's why most people avoid them. We distract ourselves. We rush into the next thing. We tell ourselves we'll think about it later. But later never comes. The samurai believed that how you meet defeat determines who you become next. Not the defeat itself. Your response to it. They understood something simple but difficult. You don't reset your life by fixing the outside. You reset it by facing what broke inside. And this is where their approach feels almost uncomfortable for modern life. They didn't look for reassurance. They didn't look for validation. They didn't look for excuses. They looked for truth. Truth about their skill. Truth about their ego. Truth about their fear. Because only truth allows a real reset. Anything else is just a mask. This raises a question that is still uncomfortable today. What if defeat isn't something to escape from, but something to walk through? What if the moment you want to run from is the moment that can actually rebuild you? The samurai didn't ask, "How do I feel better?" They asked, "How do I stand correctly again?" That difference changes everything. Because feeling better is temporary. Standing correctly reshapes your entire path. This video is not about glorifying failure. The samurai did not seek defeat. They trained obsessively to avoid it, but they accepted it as part of life. And because they accepted it, it did not own them. If you've ever failed and felt lost afterward, if you've ever felt like defeat changed how you see yourself, if you've ever wondered how to begin again without lying to yourself, then this story is for you. Because the way of the samurai was never about never falling. It was about learning how to reset, without breaking your spirit, without poisoning your mind, and without turning your loss into your identity. Before we go deeper, take a moment. Think about the last defeat that stayed with you longer than it should have. Not the one you talk about, the one you keep quiet. Hold it in your mind. Because in the next part, we'll step into the place where most people get trapped after defeat, and why escaping that trap requires courage most people never practice. If this already resonates with you, leave a comment with just one word that describes how defeat felt to you. After defeat, something strange happens. The world expects you to move on, but your mind doesn't. You replay moments you wish you could change. You hear words you wish you had said differently. You imagine paths that no longer exist. This is the real descent. Not the loss itself, but what follows it. Most people believe defeat hurts because of what they lost. But that's only half the truth. Defeat hurts because it shakes certainty. Before the fall, you believed in something. Your plan, your judgment, your sense of control. After the fall, that belief is damaged. And the mind hates uncertainty. So it rushes to explain what happened. Create stories. Some people choose stories that protect their pride. It wasn't fair. They were lucky. The system is broken. Others choose stories that punish themselves. I'm not good enough. I always fail. I knew I'd mess this up. Both feel different, but they lead to the same place. Stagnation. The samurai understood this danger well. They knew that defeat does not destroy a warrior. Confusion does. When you don't understand what a loss means, you freeze. You hesitate. You doubt every move. Over time, hesitation becomes identity. You stop taking risks, not because you're weak, but because you're afraid of confirming the story you told yourself. This is what people rarely admit. Defeat doesn't break confidence instantly. It slowly erodes trust in yourself. And once that trust is gone, even small decisions feel heavy. You second-guess your instincts. You avoid situations that remind you of the loss. You shrink your world without realizing it. The samurai watched this happen to others. Warriors who survived battle but never returned the same. Not because of wounds, but because of unresolved meaning. They lost once, then lived as if they were still losing. This is the misconception most people live with. They believe time heals defeat, but time only dulls pain. It does not restore clarity. Unexamined defeat ages into fear, and fear, when left alone, quietly runs your life. The samurai did not allow this. They treated defeat like a message that had to be read, not buried. Because buried defeat doesn't disappear. It leaks. It leaks into how you speak, how you stand, how you react. It leaks into hesitation before action and anger after mistakes. Another truth people ignore. We don't fear defeat itself. We fear what defeat says about us. We fear it proves we are less than we believed. That fear creates a split inside you. One part wants to try again. Another part wants to stay safe. This inner conflict drains energy. You look fine on the outside, but inside you're divided. The samurai called this dangerous. A divided warrior is already defeated. So they asked a hard question most people avoid. What am I clinging to that defeat threatened? Status? Reputation? The need to be seen as capable? Defeat attacks attachments, not essence. But when you confuse the two, you suffer longer than necessary. Modern life encourages this confusion. We tie our worth to results, to titles, to outcomes we can't fully control. So when those outcomes disappear, we feel empty. The samurai expected this emptiness. They didn't panic when it arrived. They sat with it. They allowed the uncomfortable truth to surface. If everything I used to define myself is gone, what remains? That question scares most people, because it feels like standing at the edge of nothing. But the samurai knew something crucial. Nothing is not the enemy. False identity is. They believed that only when the false falls away can the real be seen. But here's where many people get stuck. They confuse reflection with rumination. Reflection asks, what can I learn? Rumination asks, what's wrong with me? One leads to growth. The other leads to self-attack. The samurai were ruthless, but not toward themselves. They were ruthless toward illusion. They did not insult themselves after defeat. They analyzed, calmly, honestly, without drama. Where did timing fail? Where did judgment slip? Where did emotion override discipline? This wasn't self-hate. It was self-respect, because they believed a warrior deserves truth, not comfort. Most people do the opposite. They either attack themselves emotionally or protect themselves with denial. Both avoid responsibility. And responsibility is the doorway to reset. Without it, defeat lingers. You don't move forward, you circle. This is why some losses stay with you for years. Not because they were big, but because they were never understood. The samurai knew, if you do not choose the meaning of defeat, your fear will choose it for you. And fear always chooses the harshest explanation. By the time we reach the bottom of this descent, one truth becomes clear. Defeat is not the problem. Avoiding its message is. The samurai did not reset by trying to become who they were before. That is the first thing most people get wrong. After defeat, people say, I just want to get back to my old self. My confidence. My edge. My momentum. The samurai never chased that. They believed the person you were before defeat no longer exists. And that wasn't something to mourn. It was something to respect. Because defeat changes you whether you want it to or not. The only choice you have is how it changes you. At the core of the samurai's mindset was a simple principle. You are defined by how you return to your path, not by where you fell. To them, defeat was not an ending or a stain. It was a moment of truth. A moment where false strength fell away and real strength had a chance to appear. They trained under the idea that everything temporary would eventually be taken. Victory, status, even life itself. So they did not build their identity on what could be lost. They built it on conduct, how they acted, how they decided, how they faced fear. This is why defeat did not destroy them. It only tested alignment. After a loss, a samurai did not ask, how do I win again as fast as possible? He asked, did I walk the path correctly? This changes everything. Because when success is the goal, defeat feels like failure. But when integrity is the goal, defeat becomes feedback. The samurai believed that life is not a straight line upward. It is a series of corrections. Every fall is a signal, not a judgment. The problem is that modern thinking turns every loss into a verdict. You lost, therefore you are behind. You failed, therefore you are less. You stumbled, therefore you should doubt yourself. The samurai rejected this logic. They understood something uncomfortable but freeing. No single moment has the authority to define you. Only repeated choices do. This is why they emphasized returning to basics after defeat. Not chasing revenge. Not chasing validation. Basics, breath, posture, discipline, daily training. They believed reset does not come from big emotional breakthroughs. It comes from small, correct actions repeated calmly. After defeat, emotions are unstable. Confidence is unreliable. So they didn't depend on either. They depended on structure. Wake, train, reflect, rest. This wasn't punishment. It was grounding. Structure gives the mind something solid when identity feels shaken. And here is the deeper teaching most people miss. The samurai did not fight to protect their ego. They fought to express their values. So when they lost, the ego took the hit, but the values remained. That is why they could stand again without bitterness. They did not say, "I am worthless because I lost." They said, "I am still responsible for how I move forward." Responsibility was their anchor. Not blame, not shame. Responsibility. Responsibility means, this happened. Now what is required of me? Keeps you active without being cruel. Another key idea guided them. Detachment from outcome does not mean detachment from effort. This is often misunderstood. Detachment meant they gave everything they had, then released the result. They did not cling to winning as proof of worth. They clung to effort as proof of character. That's why defeat could not hollow them out. They were already full of something deeper than success. Most people today do the opposite. They give half effort but full emotional attachment to results. So when they lose, it feels unbearable. The samurai flipped this. Full effort, light attachment. That balance allowed them to reset without collapsing. Another important truth. They did not rush to feel good again. They allowed the discomfort. They believed discomfort after defeat was necessary. Like soreness after training. A sign something real was happening. They trusted the process more than the feeling. This is hard for modern minds. We want relief fast. We want reassurance now. But the samurai knew, quick relief delays real recovery. So they slowed down. They reflected without drama. They asked questions that cut cleanly. Where did I overestimate myself? Where did fear influence my choice? Where did ego blind me? No insults, no excuses, just clarity. That clarity became the reset, because clarity replaces confusion, and confusion is what keeps people stuck. By the time a samurai returned to action, something important had happened. They were no longer fighting to prove anything. They were fighting to express discipline. And discipline does not depend on winning. This is the heart of the ancient principle. You do not rebuild yourself by chasing what you lost. You rebuild yourself by standing correctly where you are. Once this is understood, defeat loses its poison. It still hurts, but it no longer defines. Once the samurai understood the lesson of defeat, something shifted. Not outside of them, but inside. The event did not change. The loss did not disappear. The memory did not soften overnight. But the meaning changed. And meaning is what determines the direction of your life. Most people try to change their future by fixing the past. The samurai changed their future by changing their relationship to the past. They did not ask, "How do I erase what happened?" They asked, "How do I stand after what happened?" This is the reframe. Defeat is not something you recover from. It is something you recover with. It becomes part of your foundation or part of your burden. The difference is choice. The samurai believed that once something has happened, resisting it only drains energy. So they accepted reality quickly, not emotionally, practically. This occurred, cannot be undone. What is the correct next step? Acceptance was not weakness. It was efficiency. Resistance wastes strength. Acceptance frees it. This is where application begins for you. After defeat, the mind wants to rush ahead. It wants a new plan, a new identity, a new direction. The samurai slowed down instead. They returned to what they could control. Posture, breath, action. These sound small, but they are not. Posture affects how you think. Breath affects how you feel. Action affects how you trust yourself again. They did not rebuild confidence by telling themselves positive things. They rebuilt confidence by keeping small promises. Training even when motivation was gone. Showing up even when doubt was loud. Moving even when the outcome was uncertain. This is the application most people avoid, because it is quiet. There is no dramatic turning point, no applause, no sudden clarity, just repetition. The samurai understood that repetition after defeat is sacred. It says, I am still here. I am still responsible. I have not abandoned my path. They also reframed fear. Fear after defeat is natural. It means memory is trying to protect you. The samurai did not fight fear. They listened to it, but did not obey it blindly. They asked, what is fear pointing at? What needs to be strengthened? Fear became information, not a command. You can apply this today. Instead of asking, how do I stop being afraid? Ask, what skill, habit, or boundary needs work? Fear often highlights where discipline is missing. Another shift they made, they stopped performing for an audience. After defeat, people often feel watched, even when they aren't. They imagine judgment everywhere. The samurai returned inward. They measured themselves against their own code. Not comparison, not approval, alignment. Ask yourself, are my actions today honest? Are they deliberate? Are they mine? If yes, you are resetting even if it doesn't feel like it yet. This is important. Reset does not feel like progress at first. Feels plain. Feels ordinary. Sometimes it feels boring. That's because drama has ended. And drama is addictive. The samurai chose peace over drama. They did not rush to redeem themselves. They allowed redemption to come naturally through consistency. They also reframed time. Defeat makes people impatient. They want to make up for lost ground. The samurai knew impatience leads to sloppy choices. So they slowed their sense of time. One day of correct action was enough. Not because it fixed everything, but because it pointed in the right direction. This is how momentum quietly returns. Not through force, through direction. Another application. Stop asking, when will I feel like myself again? Start asking, what version of myself is being built now? You are not going backward. You are not starting over. You are integrating experience. That takes time. The samurai respected this process. They did not insult themselves for being changed. They accepted it. Change after defeat is not damage. It is evidence of learning. Finally, they practiced humility. Not humiliation, humility. They knew defeat makes arrogance expensive. So they lowered their head, not in shame, but in readiness. Readiness to learn. Readiness to train. Readiness to listen. This humility made them stronger than before, because strength without humility repeats mistakes. If this perspective is shifting how you see your own losses, pause here. Think about one small, correct action you can take today. Not to fix everything, just to stand correctly. If this resonates, leave a comment with the words "stand." Not for others, but as a reminder to yourself. In the final part, we'll bring this journey to its end. The transformation that happens when defeat no longer controls your story, and the quiet strength that remains when everything else has been stripped away. At some point, something changes. Not suddenly, not dramatically, and not in a way others can see. It happens quietly. You wake up one day and realize the weight is lighter. Not gone, but lighter. The memory of defeat no longer tightens your chest the same way. You can think about it without flinching. You can speak about it without shrinking. That is the transformation. Not because the past changed, but because you did. The samurai knew this moment well. They did not mark it with celebration. They did not announce it. They simply noticed that their steps felt steady again. This is important to understand. Real recovery does not feel like victory. It feels like balance. Victory excites. Balance stabilizes. And stability is what allows a life to continue forward. By the time a samurai reached this stage, defeat had already done its work. It had removed arrogance. It had exposed illusion. It had clarified priorities. What remained was simpler but stronger. They no longer fought to prove themselves. They fought because fighting was their responsibility. In modern life, this looks like something very ordinary. You stop replaying the loss constantly. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't matter. You stop needing reassurance that you are okay. You begin to trust your actions again. Not because you feel fearless, but because fear no longer controls your choices. This is the quiet power the samurai carried. They understood that identity rebuilt after defeat is different. It is less loud, less flashy, less dependent on praise, but it is grounded. They knew who they were because they had seen who they were without success. That knowledge cannot be taken away. This is why defeat, when faced correctly, becomes a turning point instead of a scar. It teaches you what remains when comfort disappears. And what remains is usually enough. The samurai did not chase confidence. They trusted competence. They trained. They showed up. They honored routine. Confidence followed naturally. Most people try to feel ready before acting again. The samurai acted correctly until readiness returned. That is a crucial difference. Another transformation happens here. You stop seeing defeat as something personal. Not because it didn't matter, but because you understand it better. You realize that loss is part of movement. Stillness avoids defeat, but it also avoids growth. The samurai chose movement. They accepted risk. They accepted uncertainty. And because of that, they lived fully even knowing loss was possible. This is the final lesson they leave us. A life protected from defeat is a life never tested. And a life never tested never discovers its depth. You do not need to become harder after defeat. You need to become clearer. Clear about what you value. Clear about what you control. Clear about what is worth continuing. Defeat strips away noise. If you let it, it removes the unnecessary. If you don't fight the process. The samurai did not ask life to be fair. They asked themselves to be steady. That steadiness became their strength. As you reach the end of this reflection, here is the invitation. Do not rush to erase your defeats. Do not turn them into shame. Do not build walls around them. Let them inform you. Let them humble you without shrinking you. Let them refine you without hardening you. Ask yourself one final question, the same one a samurai would face in silence. Can I continue with integrity even after this? If the answer is yes, then you are already stronger than you think. You don't need to return to who you were before. That person did not know what you know now. You are not starting over. You are starting deeper. And this is the line to carry with you. Defeat did not end your path. It revealed where it becomes real.